So, Dijak's leaving WWE tomorrow. What? Welcome to the WrestleTalk breaking news. I'm Pete Quinnell. If it's your first time here, subscribe, like, etc. Here's the news, though. Dijak, as in recently called up during the draft, Dijak, is now leaving WWE. He put up a post on X. He did a tweet, let's be real. Dated today, June 27th. I'm going to read out in full. Here we go. You ready? Says, it's just a screenshot of a letter with him signing the bottom. And the letter says this. Here's the truth. WWE never negotiated with me. We attempted to negotiate and they stonewalled us. They never made me a single offer. Then they informed me that they would not renew my contract at the 11th hour. 2 months ago, I was in one of the best matches in NXT history and a top match of WrestleMania weekend. On that day, a top executive in WWE told me I was crushing it. That is in quotation marks. I was slated to feud for the NXT title, but I got called up to Raw instead. I consistently outperformed everyone's expectations, especially throughout 2023 and early 2024. I never complained about anything or was difficult to work with. I tirelessly pitched ideas to anyone who would listen as recently as the day before I was notified. I never once missed a booking, and I was injured one time in 7 years for 3 months. I'm thankful, disappointed, but also excited. This has lit a fire under me to relentlessly prove myself to the world. All I ever wanted was a fair shot, and now I have the opportunity to go out and take it. That's enough talk. Now it's time to do or die, Jack. That's a very good pun. My last day under a WWE contract is June 28th, 2024. Bookings and interviews, bookdijak@gmail.com. Get ready to feast your effing eyes. Signed, Donovan Dijak. This makes me very excited. Now, this is kind of crazy. In, like, the Paul Levesque era, Dijak feels like a very Paul Levesque kind of guy, but the fact that they didn't even negotiate with him at all is very unlike WWE. They've had a couple of, contract issues in the past, like when Malachi Black was released, and then he had a 30-day non-compete instead of a 90-day non-compete, and there was stuff with Buddy Matthews and stuff like that. There's a few different contract things. There was some with Adam Cole, had to work with an extension because his contract just expired and they didn't renew it. So there's been some contract things in the past, but those people who've been responsible, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe that they had since gone from the company. They've been released or been let go, or they've left, and they kind of didn't want to have these situations happen again. So this feels like this isn't an error, this isn't a mistake on WWE's part of not negotiating with Dijak. This is something that they've actively chosen to do. They're happy to let Dijak go, which, as Dijak points out in his letter, is kind of crazy considering how well-respected he's been in the last, year or so in NXT. He's been kind of killing it, honestly, and having some fantastic matches. The fact that he's put up with a lot of nonsense, when it was Dominik Dijakovic, and then Retribution was a thing that he was a part of, and, to not even push back on that, to be easy to work with, even in spite of Retribution booking, is admirable. And if this is all absolutely true and WWE didn't negotiate, that's crazy. That's a crazy situation to be in. But on a separate note, though, Dijak did tag some people in this tweet. He tagged Tony Khan, AEW, TNA, Tommy Dreamer, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. So already, man's ready for any future bookings coming his way. I am so excited to see Dijak go do some stuff, because I don't know if you guys remember his pre-signing to WWE, pre-NXT, Dijak versus Keith Lee was like the match, right? That they would be booked together to have their match go around, and that's why it was so important to them in NXT when they had their match at, like, TakeOver Portland, for example. That was like the culmination of their indie runs coming together, putting on this great match at NXT. That was like the next step in their careers, right? Now having Dijak with years more experience be let loose from WWE, when a lot of people were really excited to see what Dijak could do on the main roster, now to let that go, to let him go out on the indies, and to see Dijak hopefully go and tear it up. Like, we've seen quite a lot of releases from WWE in the past year, or people that have left contract expiration or releases or otherwise. They've been kind of killing it. Like, Mason Mansoor They've been crushing it since. Nick Nemeth went to New Japan and TNA. The Hardys leaving AEW. They've gone to TNA. There's a lot of it seems like there's a lot of places for talent to go and be paid well and to showcase their talents a lot more in recent wrestling times than in the past. And I have no doubt in my mind that Dijak will get a ton of bookings. Dijak will have a ton of places to go and showcase his talent, which is huge. I think his talent is massive. People were always excited to see what Dijak could do, and it always felt like he just hadn't quite reached that next level in NXT or in the main roster or otherwise. And it feels like he's had that kind of hard reset in NXT. When he went back to NXT post-Retribution and was renamed to Dijak, that felt like the reset, right? This is like, okay, now we're getting the Donovan Dijak run in NXT, and hopefully on the main roster. And it looked like we were going that way in the draft when he got called up as Dijak. But clearly, that's not what's happened. Where would you guys want to see Dijak end up? Leave a comment down below, because I think there are loads of places he could go that would be really interesting as well. Because, I believe all the spots have been taken for G1 this year. But if Dijak can get in the G1 somehow, please, there is a wild card in the Owen. Love to see Dijak take that. Or there's Forbidden Door this weekend. Like, Dijak could just show up, because that's the thing. This isn't a release. There isn't a 90-day non-compete clause here. This is a contract expiration, which means as of, June 29th, Dijak will be free to take any bookings. So he could just show up ASAP in any company. I honestly would not be surprised if we see Dijak make an appearance at Forbidden Door. If he just turns up, maybe at the end of the show, or maybe on the Dynamite after, has a stare down with Swerve or Osprey or something, just to have a great match. He doesn't even have to win the title or anything like that, but something to have a great match would be such a cool way to kick off his run. If they can somehow shoehorn a Keith Lee thing in, I wouldn't complain, because I think that would be really cool. But regardless, I think whatever he does, he is going to absolutely land on his feet, and I think he has an immeasurable wealth of talent that he is absolutely going to display in the very near future, and everyone will be questioning why WWE let him go, because I think he is going to ratio WWE, and he's going to make sure that they made an error when they did not negotiate with him. Man, this is crazy. We've heard of a lot of contracts expiring, but generally we know in advance when they're coming up, and we know generally where the winds are blowing in terms of them re-signing and not. And this one has come out of absolutely nowhere. Having been called up in the draft to then not being used at all to then I'm off now is a wild few months. I'm super excited to see Dijak get to spread his wings and do some cool stuff. Can't wait to see more of him. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Where do you want to see Dijak wrestle? If it's your first time here, subscribe. We do wrestling news 5 days a week. And also some other content that's not news on the weekends. So subscribe for that too. Leave a like on the video and let me know what you think of Dijak leaving WWE, where he should go next. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys soon. Jam that jam!